Guys, I'm back. I spent a little bit of time going through my Facebook this evening, and I received a really good question that I just wanted to touch base on a little bit. And it was a good question that I haven't really heard yet. What held me back from getting my teeth fixed? Quite a few factors, actually. One that most denture wearers usually have in common: their irrational fear of the dentist. I spent years upon years being absolutely terrified of the dentist. I mean, to the point where I would have to take anti-anxiety medication just to be able to tolerate going. And even then, I was a nervous wreck before and after. Because when I think of the dentist, I think of pain. And if I'm going to the dentist, I'm already in pain. And it seemed like I went in pain, and they just inflicted more pain. And I never quite understood the point of that. So I just never went. And naturally, things just got worse. And secondly, was lack of dental insurance. Unfortunately, when you go to the dentist, you can't just go in and get a bill like you go into the hospital without insurance. They'll treat you still. They'll just send you a bill, and then you will pay the bill. 99.99% of dentist office, you either pay right then and there, or they're not doing jack diddly shit to you. I never quite understood that. I mean, they clearly see you are in pain, but they're gonna turn you away because you can't pay right that second. In most dentist office, charge an arm and a leg to get a root canal and a cap done. Several dentists that I had seen charged upwards of $3,000 to get the root canal and crown done. And I thought that was ridiculous. Who honestly has $3,000 just laying around that they can toss onto one tooth? And in my case, it was 9, 10, 11, 12 teeth that needed all this. Just because they were in such bad shape that a simple filling wasn't gonna cut it anymore. They needed to either rip the tooth out for a couple $100, or if I really, really wanted to save it, have a root canal and a crown done. Both of which I didn't have the money to spend. And we had dental insurance, but it was incredibly subpar. It was not good dental insurance at all. They didn't cover jack diddly squat. And bottom line is, just couldn't afford it. So on top of being terrified of the dentist, I couldn't even afford the dentist. And I know what you're thinking. You walked around with a hot mess going on inside your mouth for God knows how long, and didn't just suck it up and get it done. Which brings me to the second reason why that it took me almost, 10 years or so to finally say, hey, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to fix my smile. I always pictured dentures as something that my grandma would get at 80 some odd years old. I didn't know anybody my age that had dentures. Nobody. Zip, zero, zilt, nada. And I was hell-bent that I was not going to be someone in my mid-20s getting dentures. The hell I was. But one night, I was cruising around on YouTube looking for home toothache remedies. Because for the longest time, I was basically living on Orajel and ibuprofen. Just so I could eat food. And I was just scrolling around, and I happened to come across a couple videos about women my age getting everything torn out of their mouth and replacing them with dentures. And I thought, these must be the only two ladies in the world that are my age doing this. Come to find out, I was sorely mistaken. There are hundreds upon hundreds of people my age getting this done. And the reason why my teeth, besides obviously not going to the dentist, there was more than one factor to the deterioration of my teeth. One being genetics. Almost everybody in my family has had bad teeth. My mom, she's had probably a good $15,000-$20,000 worth of work done to her teeth. Everything from deep cleanings to descaling to root canals and crowns. And her teeth are still not in great shape. They're horribly discolored. They're crooked, what have you. My dad, he's missing several teeth. And other than that, they're not in terrible shape, but again, yes, he's missing several teeth, and he's had a couple teeth that he's chipped, replaced, kind of. I don't know how they do that, but it's not a veneer, but it's basically a remolding of his, I don't know what they call it. But, unless it's a crown, but, and another factor of the rapid deterioration of my teeth in just the last 3 years alone, I'm bipolar. And about 3 years ago, on a quest to finally get my medications to where they needed to be to help me, was a drug called lithium. And personally, when I think of lithium, I think of batteries or battery acid. And that is essentially what it is. Upon getting it, the pharmacist never disclosed that it may cause dental issues. So basically, the two drugs I'm on, Depakote and lithium, have a side effect on there for dry mouth and dental issues. And the drier your mouth is, the more likely you are to have enamel issues and cavities. Your mouth needs to be moist. Otherwise, your teeth are just going to die and fall apart. And before all these drugs, my teeth weren't great, but they weren't the hot mess that I had before I had them extracted. Within a year of taking that medication, my teeth had taken a huge dive for the worse. I had decay going on like crazy. I had previous work that I had done already falling apart and falling out. I had no enamel on my teeth whatsoever. They were just essentially dying. And after months upon months of religiously using YouTube denture videos as like Netflix, that's what I did before bed. I didn't watch Netflix, I watched denture videos. And what really set me off to finally making the phone call to finally get this all taken care of was I was eating breakfast one morning and I had 2 pieces of toast and a fresh out of the oven chocolate chip muffin. Gooey as can be. That muffin literally broke off all 4 of these teeth to the root. a muffin. I'm not talking peanuts or anything of crunchy, hard subject matter. It was a muffin. And they literally broke off at the roots. And boy, did it hurt. I was literally in tears from eating a muffin. And that was it for me. I finished breakfast. I rinsed out my mouth with salt water to try to control the pain as much as I possibly could. And I jumped onto the internet and started pulling up dentist's office, getting quotes on what my options were for getting my dentures, which brought me to Affordable Dentures. I went in there and showed them what had happened the next day and explained what had happened, and they basically said, yes, your teeth are done. We'll make you another appointment for a consultation, and we will get you taken care of. And from that moment of that phone call, my teeth were literally gone a week later. And honestly, it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. It's been a long road coming, but I honestly could not be happier with the decision I made. Yes, it's permanent. I will never get my natural teeth back. But given the hell I had gone through for so many years, and the pain, and not to mention the money I wasted in Orajel and ibuprofen, not to mention the amount of salt water I consumed just to keep the pain under control, was not worth it. I mean, yeah, there's always the comments of, why didn't you just take care of your teeth to begin with? And I wasn't one to not brush my teeth, because I've always been incredibly anal about oral cleanliness. And once I got on this medication, it didn't matter how often I brushed my teeth, I used mouthwash, flossed, they still deteriorated. And it got to the point towards the very end, like probably the last, my bite's really off. I just had a reline last Monday, and I can already tell that, yeah, shit's off. Wow, that's, really bad. Wow. Yeah. Anyways, got a little sidetracked there. A little bit of ADHD going on there for a second. But, it got to the point where even just touching toothpaste to the dead and breaking teeth was excruciating. I literally bawled as I was brushing my teeth. And mouthwash, forget about it. Same thing. And this medication basically kickstarted this gingivitis that eventually turned into a severe, severe case of periodontal disease. When they did my initial consultation before they took the molds or whatever, they measured my periodontal pockets. This entire section right here, and all of this right here and here, the pockets were between 8 and 10 millimeters deep. My teeth were so long because the gum line had receded so far in just 3 years alone. I had more damage done to my teeth in 3 years than the last almost 30 years I've been alive. And it's not like I could just stop taking my meds. I had to take my meds. So it was either have shitty teeth or be locked up in loony bins left and right. And I wasn't about that. No. So basically, losing my teeth was basically just a small price to pay for my health. Not only my mental health, but my overall well-being. I mean, bad, decaying, infected teeth leads to heart disease, all sorts of nasty, nasty diseases if it's not treated. Especially for as long as I had it. And the amount of abscesses I had. I mean, you can die from abscesses. And my mouth was full of them. I mean, small price to pay for my overall well-being. But with that being said, I am going to start heading to bed. Got a long day tomorrow. I'm going to call my dentist to see if I can get this taken care of, because this is not okay. What the hell is going on? I am just now noticing that. I would wonder how long that's actually been like that. I haven't looked in the mirror. I don't look in the mirror half the time. I just do it at the same toss them in and walk out. That's not okay. Okay, so I'm gonna start getting ready for bed. Now I'm gonna make a mental note. Call a dentist. Again, subscribe, message, comment, find me on Facebook. Again, I'm Realm. You guys have a great evening. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.